Are you tired of feeling like nobody around you really understands you? Maybe you're sick of feeling like you've got a lot of people around you and you're connected to lots of people, but you still feel lonely. How do you deal with that loneliness? How do you deal with feeling alone? How do you deal with struggling to connect? I want to give you my 7 best strategies, 7 things that you need to know if this is you. Whether you want to finally get into a happy, healthy relationship, or whether you want to make better friends, or whether you want like minded people to join you on your journey, whatever it is, loneliness is something that I know deeply. Loneliness is something that I have battled, and to be honest, still feel at times. And I think loneliness is something that all of us experience at some point in our life. I think most of us probably experienced it at least a little in 2020 with the pandemic and everything. But listen, if you want to be able to connect with strangers and make friends, if you want to never feel like you're alone, if you want to be able to strike up a conversation with an attractive woman or a guy, if you're a woman and you want to say hey to a guy, or even you're a woman who wants to make girlfriends but you find it hard to connect. I want to give you these 7 strategies that I'm about to lay out are going to help you. Now, if you don't know who I am, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sid Scott and I'm a life coach, and I help people create breakthroughs and transformation in their lives. I help them get rid of whatever's holding them back from showing up how they want to in the world. But that's not what's important. What's important is, how do you deal with your loneliness and how do you overcome if you've been struggling with loneliness? I've got my notes here. I don't want to overtalk anything, but I also don't want to miss anything. So let's go ahead and get into the first one. What you give, you receive. So whatever you feel like is missing from your life right now, connection, love, whatever's making you feel lonely right now, I just want you to understand this. What you give, you receive. And one of the best ways to deal with feeling lonely is to go give somebody else company. Go be a friend to somebody else. Go connect to somebody else. How's your mom? How's your dad? Right? Like, how are the people around you? Go find someone near you to connect with. And if not that, find a cashier. Next time you're at the store, next time you're at the coffee shop, talk to the barista, give company to somebody else, and suddenly you're not alone anymore. Suddenly you forget about whatever's been bothering you or whatever's been going on in your life, because you've got someone else to be connected with, and you realize that's ultimately what cures us of the loneliness. In my loneliest, like darkest moments, what I found helps me is I create connection like this. Maybe I write a post, put it on my social media. Maybe I make a video. Maybe I go live on social media, whatever it is, doing something like this, knowing that there's always someone out there to connect with. There's always connection available. Which brings me to my second point. Maybe you have to stop judging people. Maybe you need to stop being so judgmental. See, there's people all around you, but you might think for whatever reason, maybe you're too good for them. Or maybe they're not your type, or maybe they're not your speed. Maybe you have differences that you don't really understand. Those are the best people to connect with. Michelina and I were at a coffee shop the other morning, and this woman, asks us, hey, have you tried any of these scones? We're like, yeah, this is our favorite scone, which, by the way, I'm a huge scone guy. Like, I'm passionate about scones. Like, it's a thing. And so I told her, and we ended up having the most amazing, beautiful connection with this woman. She sat down right next to us and we talked for like 30 or 40 minutes, and it was easily the highlight of my day. Just an older, petite woman, maybe in her 70s. And that's what I mean. Like, stop judging. You never know where the best, most meaningful connections could come from. But maybe you've been a little too judgmental. Maybe your judgment has closed you off from all of the connection that's already available around you. And I'll be honest with you, like, this is something that I experienced. This is something that was difficult for me growing up in an environment where I didn't really feel like I belonged, where I didn't really feel like people could understand me. And honestly, some of that was true. A lot, I had a very unrelatable background compared to everyone else that I was around. But what is relatable is we all want to be loved. We all want to be seen. We all want friends. We all experience this. And so I could have had better connections. right? But to keep myself safe, I put up walls around me so that I couldn't connect with people because I didn't really feel like I belonged, and everyone looked so different from me, and everyone knew each other in the small school that I went to. But I was the kid who was coming from private school, and I was even homeschooled for a couple of years, and I was like, man, I just feel really out of place here. So the easiest thing for me to do was to just kind of isolate myself. I don't want to necessarily say anyone was doing that to me, but sometimes we do that to protect ourselves. The third one is lock into personal development. Become someone that people want to know. Become someone that people actually want to connect with. Someone that people remember. Become mentally attractive. Become spiritually attractive. Get to know yourself on a deeper level. Do that personal development so you can be set apart from everyone else who's in the crowd. So that when someone does see you, when someone does have a conversation with you, your presence, how sharp you are, how in tune you are, how tapped in you are, is something that they feel and something that they remember and something they want to experience more of. Your ability to make them feel seen, your ability to say something that hits them, that type of conversation that can only come when you're fully locked in, when you're fully present. Work on yourself. Become a better communicator. Become more attractive. Whatever your conscience has been calling you to develop or get better in, do that. And what's going to happen is you're going to be more like the types of people that you would like to be in connection with anyways. And I say this more so for the people who feel like no one really gets them. Or maybe you're like me and you grew up in a smaller town. I had to leave my state. I had to go to bigger cities, and I found tons of people to connect with. I could strike up conversations, go travel, do the personal development so that you can become more attractive to more people. And those people will want to get to know you. Be someone that you would want to know. Like if you really think about yourself, are you interesting to you? The next point, ask yourself if you're afraid of getting close to people. I touched on this earlier, but sometimes we're lonely simply because we're afraid of getting hurt. Maybe we had close friends at one point and we felt like they stabbed us in the back, or maybe we had connection and we ended up moving to a new place, and that comfort that we were used to got, stripped away, whatever it is. Ask yourself, are you afraid of connection? Because a lot of the times, if there's something that we really want in life and we don't have it, it's because on some level, it's a threat. On some level, it threatens us. On some level, we think something's going to change or we're going to lose something that we value if we get that thing that we've always wanted. So ask yourself, maybe fear is the underlying reason why it's been difficult for you to connect with people. And if that is the case, I want you to reach out to me. Shoot me a DM and let's have a conversation about it. I have a really good framework to help you overcome your fears. The next point, change your environment. Change your environment. There's a reason why artists and comedians and other creatives like that love to travel. It's because it stimulates you. It gets your creativity flowing. You get into new spaces that maybe pique interests and curiosities that you didn't even know you had. I can't tell you how much it's helped me to just be in different environments. I remember the first time that I made it to the East Coast. It's like a bar and a bookshop, and there's a few of them out in DC. It's called Busboy and Poets. And I remember like this is so cool. Like there's hip hop here, there's books here, there's amazing food here, and it's all in one place. And I had never seen anything like this. And I'm like, dang, like these are my kind of people. Change your environment if you can. Do what you can. And if you can't, for whatever reason, change your environment physically around you, change your environment in here. Find new creators to connect with and engage with their content. Drop comments on creators who you resonate with, right? Follow them on Instagram, follow them on YouTube, follow them on TikTok, whatever your thing is, right? Create that community online. You'd be surprised. This next one is just connect with God. Read scripture, pray, meditate. If you don't believe in God, I don't know what to tell you. But if you do believe in God, if you do have faith, just recognize that you are never alone. Wherever you are, God will find you. Never truly alone. And I really realized this, I would say about 2016. I was in like one of my deepest, most intense bouts of depression, and I was just calling out in my spirit to just no longer feel like I was alone. And I had a very powerful dream where I realized, dang, not only do I have my soul, but God has always been there with me. So connect to God, get in nature, spend time quiet, spend time really thinking about why you're here and who made you. Which brings me to my next point. Really get to know yourself. If you're lonely right now, use this time to really get to know yourself. Know what makes you tick. Know what lights you up. Do you know your purpose? Are you living in your purpose? Are you walking in your purpose? Take this time to figure that out, because as more of who you really are becomes available, more opportunities become available. So really get to know yourself. Comment here, connect with me here. I'm gonna be making these videos. I put up these videos, I post on my stories on Instagram. We can connect, we can be a community here. If you're feeling lonely, lock in. Also, pick up the camera and start sharing your voice, start sharing your story, start connecting with other people out there. Make yourself findable to people so that you can connect. I hope that you know that connection is always available. You don't have to be lonely. And if you are lonely in 2024, it's honestly a choice. You're choosing that. And you can make some new choices. You can start some new habits. You can find today could be the first day that you walk up to a stranger and ask them what time it is. And see where that takes you. And that's actually where I started. I used to have pretty significant social anxiety, I'm gonna be honest. And I started by asking strangers what time it was. Hey, do you have the time? And I worked my way up to having different types of conversations, giving them compliments on something, striking up small talk. You don't have to be lonely. You don't have to be lonely. If you want to be lonely, honestly, if you wanted to be lonely, you probably wouldn't have watched this video to this point. So if you're looking for a connection, just know it's available to you. With that being said, thank you for watching this video. Subscribe if you haven't. Drop a comment if you haven't already. Drop a like if you haven't. I gotta say this stuff because you might forget. And honestly, when I watch other YouTube videos, I don't remember to click the like button until they tell me to. So that being said, see you in the next video.